Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we have another incredible passion charger release to take a look at. This is one that I was greatly anticipating because we've got ourselves an Achelousaurus, and this is a species of Ceratopsion we really don't get very many models of, so having one from Passion Charger of course is awesome because they've released some of the best Ceratopsion models I've ever seen. They have quite a few out now, and if you look back through their track record, like they've had some of the best figures like Ceratops and recently actually a Ceratops as well. And we've also of course got this Achelousaurus here now, and again really beautiful. And I love this scene that he has created here with the Achelousaurus, just kind of walking through what looks to me to kind of be like sort of like a field, maybe some sort of an open area, and there's obviously an old dead tree there. And it just looks really neat, just kind of gives me the vision in my head of a very large Achelousaurus just kind of walking through an open area, and it looks really neat here as far as what he has created. But he's also, in case you didn't notice, included two human characters with this one, two human models, and that's not something that he's done before to my knowledge. I don't have any models that he has produced and created as far as human figures go. I didn't paint mine up. I don't know if I'm going to. I think I might keep those the way they are because I'm not very good at painting humans, or at least I've never tried, so I don't really know for sure if I am or not. But I felt like keeping them the way they are for now is, an okay idea, because I didn't want to slop them up for the review and make them look bad when it comes to my first attempt at painting a human figure. But I'm probably going to try painting them at some point in the near future. But I like the idea of including them because, first of all, you could take this in a few different ways. You can look at it as maybe this is like a museum setting and this isn't an actual living Achelousaurus. Maybe it's a really huge statue. Or you can look at it as in maybe we've got ourselves our own little Jurassic Park here, and we've got two scientists studying an Achelousaurus, or maybe they time traveled back to the Cretaceous and are now studying an Achelousaurus. Who really knows exactly what's going on? But I do like the addition of those human figures, and of course you can take them out and just have a look at the Achelousaurus model itself. But it really is a fantastic model. Of course, it's an unpainted model. When you get it, it's unbuilt, unpainted. You have to build it and paint it yourself, which I did, so hopefully my paintwork here looks okay. I was pretty happy with it, and I'm really happy to go ahead and get a closer look at it with you guys, so let's jump straight to it right now. So starting up here at the head sculpt of the Achelousaurus, look at how amazing the amount of detail is that you see on this model. Like, that is just incredibly impressive. I think the Passion Charger releases are probably the most highly detailed models that I've ever seen. Like, the sculptor for Passion Charger really does a phenomenal job when it comes to sculpting out his models and just giving you the most amount of sculpt and detail and fine detail that you'll see anywhere. You can see again just tons of movement here in the face, tons of skin texture, gorgeous looking scale detail. You've also got a lot of wrinkling and stuff here near the mouth. The mouth is closed, so you can kind of see how the skin is wrinkling and stuff with the mouth closed. The fine detail of the beak as well is phenomenal. There's a lot of kind of cracks and crevices and realism in the beak of the model. You can also see the nostrils sculpted out there. The eyes are also very nicely sculpted. You can see that the eye detail around the eye, like the eye socket, is also beautifully done. As you lead up here above the eye area and you start to get into the top of our Achelousaurus, you can continue to see again just phenomenal amounts of detail, probably some of the nicest detailing that I have ever seen. And then as you lead up here toward the frill of our Achelousaurus, you can continue to see again so much variation. You have like really fine skin texture down here, really fine scales and stuff, but then you start to get kind of like bumpy scales and stuff, and even like osteoderms and everything leading up here into the frill of our Achelousaurus, and it looks insanely nice as far as the fine detail goes. You can also see that we have those spikes that run around the frill of our Achelousaurus, and as you lead up, you've got those two large ones up there on the top, and you can see the detailing of those as well is extremely realistically done. Like, so much really nice kind of cracks and crevices and fine detail there. And as you lead down the other side, you continue to see again just how beautiful all of the sculpt and detail is of the figure. Leading down into the opposing side of the face, you can continue to see just how insanely impressive it is on this side, just like we saw on the initial side. There's just so much life and realism added to the sculpt of the Achelousaurus. It just genuinely looks alive. There's just so much that has been put into the head sculpt here of the dinosaur to really give it that living feel, and he really has achieved it perfectly, I think. But honestly, that is one of the nicest Ceratopsian sculpts I've ever seen. As you start to move down here into the underside, you can see the throat is really nicely sculpted out. You've also got like skin wrinkles and stuff showing the movement there. As the dinosaur has its head turned, you can see it's got a very sharp turn here, a left-leaning turn in the neck of our Achelousaurus, and you can see all the skin wrinkles and stuff right there as it is turning again. You can make out the shoulder blade fairly nicely right there, and again, insane, like I said, amounts of skin detail as you move down the course of the front leg all the way up here into the stomach region. So much skin wrinkling and, again, movement as the dinosaur is taking a step, and you can really see that it is definitely walking as all of the legs are in different positions. But as you move down the leg, you've got lots of skin wrinkles and stuff here in the back. You've got the elbow back there and a beautiful looking foot sculpt. You can also see how the toes are kind of spread apart, and you even have skin wrinkles and stuff down there in the wrist area leading down into the toes. The nails as well look really nice as far as the sculpt goes. And as you lead back up into the stomach region, you continue to see more really nice looking scale detail as well as some osteoderms and stuff poking up here and there throughout the course of the figure. The rear leg that is, has a nice trailing appearance to it, so you can kind of see like the skin sort of stretching and creasing and stuff as you lead up in front of the thigh. You've got the hip bone very nicely sculpted out right there. Very large thigh for sure. Nice muscle definition that's sculpted out, but it's not overly defined, which is nice to see. You've got creasing and everything there in the back of the thigh leading down into the kneecap. The kneecap is present right there. You've got a very nice looking calf muscle as well, and I love the positioning of the foot as it's walking along, as the foot is kind of trailing there. The toes are all bent. They look super, super cool, as that, again, has actually taken quite a nice little glide through, almost like galloping, I would say. And then as you move up here to the top, you can see the spinal column again. You also have kind of like some osteoderms running along the spinal column, and then leading out here into the tail, a beautiful curve to the tail of the dinosaur as it leads actually down and then upward toward the tip. And also, you can see here, has a nice curve from up above. Really, really nice looking. I tried to give it that nice striping effect out there on the tail because the tail looks so flashy. It needed a little bit of flashy coloration there, I think, to highlight how beautiful it is. And then as you lead over to the opposing side, you can see again that the skin is kind of stretching over here more so than wrinkling and bunching up like we saw on the other side, because of course the dinosaur is turning its head away from us, so it would be stretching the skin over here. And not only that, but the leg is actually trailing over here, so it would be stretching the skin from both ways, both directions. But you can see up here again, the back of the frill looks great as far as the sculpting and detailing goes. Really nice looking scale detail and everything back here. You can kind of see like some creasing and stuff in the neck right there on the top. And as you move back here, you can make out like some muscle definition here in the shoulder a little bit. Lots of really nice skin movement on this side because both legs are kind of compacted next to each other, so you can see how the skin is all bunching up in the stomach region right there. Lots of nice skin wrinkles and stuff there. You've got the elbow present as you move down. Another beautiful looking foot sculpt that yet again is up in the air as the dinosaur is walking along. Nice skin wrinkles and stuff down here on the underside of the chest as well, again showing off the movement of the dinosaur. And then as you lead up here, you've got some nice girth to the dinosaur as well. Nice healthy look for our Achelousaurus. More skin wrinkles there in front of the thigh. Again, as this leg is taking a step forward, it would definitely be wrinkling the skin up. And you can see that as you move down the entire course of the front of the thigh into the stomach. Again, muscle definition for sure is nicely highlighted in the sculpt, and you've got more skin wrinkles as you lead down the back of the thigh. Nice calf muscle yet again, and again in a really nice foot sculpt, but that's kind of obscured by the other leg there. And then as you lead up here into the tail, you can kind of see the skin stretching off of the tail, again with that really nice curve. And then if you look here at the underside, you've got the cloaca present back there, and again some more really beautiful looking skin texture and scale detail here on the underside. Just an absolutely phenomenal looking Achelousaurus sculpt, and hopefully my paint job has done the figure justice, because it was another one of those figures that was a lot of fun to paint, and I was actually pretty happy with the way it turned out. And then our base as well is just phenomenal. Again, I would say as much detail on the base as you find on the dinosaur itself. You can see we have a really nice earthy area with all sorts of beautiful texturing throughout. You've also got a footprint for our Achelousaurus, and we actually have a peg, which I don't believe is something that I remember being on a lot of the Passion Charger releases previously, so that's actually really exciting because it helps to keep the figure on, even though I'll probably glue it on anyway, but you don't have to glue it on because the peg will help to hold it on. But you also have like some nice rocky formations and stuff throughout the base, which is nice to see. A little vegetation over here as well, which is also very cool to see. And then of course you've got your tree, your very, very large, very dead tree over here, and the tree itself again just sports some of the nicest detailing that I think you'll see anywhere when it comes to a tree. You even have some mushrooms growing on it over here on this side, and the sculpting and detailing again of the tree is so highly detailed. It is just an absolute breeze to paint. It is just so easy to paint something like this up. But the underside also actually sports the autograph of the sculptor from Passion Charger directly to me, which is always awesome. I absolutely love that. I love having the autograph of him on the undersides of each of the models that I acquire from Passion Charger. But a gorgeous, gorgeous base for the beautiful Achelousaurus. And then again, you have your human figures here, your human characters, and you can see that they as well are just super highly detailed. And it's so impressive to me when you see someone that you normally see sculpting dinosaurs and stuff like that go ahead and take a chance on like a human figure, and it's honestly amazing to me how good these are. Like, they are as highly detailed as it gets. You can see the ears and everything, the hair, the faces also look great. He's looking, I think, down at a camera potentially. This guy here, he's got his camera held up. You can even see they have some bellies there hanging over their pants, so lots of detail within their shirts. They've got some nice wrinkling and everything, increasing in their shirts. Same deal with their pants and shoes and everything. All look super, super impressive. Very, very well done as far as the human figures, and this allows the, I guess, scientists or paleontologists that are studying our Achelousaurus to look, again, as perfectly highly detailed as the Achelousaurus, as the base, as everything is in this set. Everything looks awesome, and these two are again beautiful. I just have to build up the confidence to try to paint them up, which I will do very soon, but again, I didn't want to mess them up or anything for the review, so I could show off how beautiful they were. So definitely awesome human figures that I will get around to painting very soon. As far as a size goes for our Achelousaurus, you are looking at a little over 5 inches, maybe I'd say actually about 5 1/8 or around 13 centimeters. And then for a height, now this is on the base, you were looking at just shy of 3.5 inches or around 8.5, closing in on 9 centimeters. And then for a height to the top of the tree, as far as the entire base and diorama goes, you're looking at about 5 3/4 inches or around the 14.5 centimeter range. And then for our human figures, about 2 1/4 inches or closing in on 6 centimeters, maybe a little over 5.5. For a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Achelousaurus, and Robert Muldoon from the Mattel Jurassic World toy line next to our Passion Charger Achelousaurus model. And you can see that it is a pretty small model overall because this Achelousaurus is in 1/35th scale. If you'd prefer to have a larger version, there is a 1/20th scale version available as well, but all of my Passion Charger models are consistently in 1/35th scale, so it's awesome to be able to continue to match them all up and size them up correctly to each other, which is always fun. And for another comparison, to show you that, there is a Passion Charger Ceratopsion next to our Achelousaurus here, and again showing you how they size up next to each other. But also, if you happen to have purchased the Ceratopsion in the past, as that one was released quite a ways back, then this might help to give you an idea as far as a size goes for our larger Achelousaurus. And then, even though it's not on the base, here is our Ceratopsion from Passion Charger next to the Achelousaurus, and again, another very cool Ceratopsian species from Passion Charger, and I love how they continue to create really cool species you don't see get models very often. I know we've had a few Ceratopsians, but not too many. However, we definitely haven't had many Ceratops or Achelousaurus, which is, again, another exciting aspect of this release. And then when it comes to Ceratopsian models, we have the Collectae Pseudoceratops here next to our Achelousaurus here. And I felt like this one would be one to bring in that, if you are a collector of Ceratopsian models, many people like the Collectae brand, so I felt like that one would be a pretty good choice to compare here with our Achelousaurus. I could sit here all day long and continue to show comparisons with different Ceratopsians. I'm not going to do that, so hopefully you will have had at least one of these models that we've brought in here. So this brand new 1/35th scale Passion Charger Achelousaurus might be their best Ceratopsian model yet. There is a very good chance of that because this thing is absolutely gorgeous. The sculpt again just shows so much life and realism to it. Like there's just so much fine detail in the face that kind of gives it like a facial expression, and when you look at it, it just kind of like gives you that feeling of like a living animal, which I really love that Passion Charger is able to somehow pull something like that off when sculpting their figures, and I definitely feel like they achieved it here very nicely with this Achelousaurus. I also love the pose for the animal as it's walking along. Very nice running almost type of a pose, even though it kind of looks like it's just walking along, taking some large strides. At the same time, you can kind of take it as it running through, which it also looks like it's doing. So that's really cool to have such a kind of a dynamic looking pose for the Achelousaurus. And of course, with that positioning comes insane amounts of sculpt and detail, and Passion Charger excels at giving their models the most highest of detail possible. When you look at the model, everywhere you look for the positioning of the body, it's going to be sculpted to perfection, with every ounce of skin folding and skin stretching and everything that you would expect to find, and also just generally the fine detail, whether it's like the really nice scale detail, beautiful skin texture, the nice cracks and crevices in the horns and stuff like that, and the beak. Like, it is all present, and possibly better than anybody else that I know that sculpts out models. Passion Charger really is leading the charge when it comes to providing you with the highest of quality models, and that's definitely what I see with this Achelousaurus. Of course, it is a fully unpainted and unbuilt model kit. When you receive it, you do have to build it and you do have to paint it. This is what I came up with as far as mine goes, so hopefully the paintwork on this looks pretty nice and looks okay for the species. And if you order yours, again, keep that in mind that you would have to probably build it and paint it or send it to a paleo artist to build and paint for you. But I personally love building and painting models. I think it is such a joy, and with models as highly detailed and beautiful as this, again, it's an easy paint job. Nothing complicated about this one because the model's so highly detailed, it paints itself for you pretty much. The base as well is really nice, super highly detailed, and I love the appearance of like the dead tree and the kind of almost like a clearing type of a look to it, but at the same time there's kind of like some, rock formations, a little vegetation, but not too much, and I definitely like the visual that it creates and just the image it kind of puts into my mind of the Achelousaurus just kind of wandering out into a little bit of a clearing, and it definitely looks awesome. I also really do quite like the addition of the human figures here, again, to kind of give us those paleontologists that are sort of studying the dinosaur, again, and whether you want to think that this is like a museum display, or maybe they're time travelers and they went back in time, or maybe this is a modern day Jurassic Park. It really doesn't matter. It's up to you how you want to take that. And I think that they as well are a really cool addition to this set from Passion Charger. And like I said, when talking about the Achelousaurus, the sculpting on that, of course, is phenomenal, but the sculpting on the base as well as the human figures are just as phenomenal as that Achelousaurus. So if you are interested in picking this up, I will include a link in the description to where you can contact Passion Charger on Facebook. I will also include a link in the description to Dan's Dinosaurs, where you can purchase many different Passion Charger releases. And of course, if you do not have social media, you can contact me at my email address, which I include down in the description, and I would be more than happy to help you get a hold of this. Either way, this is a great release from Passion Charger, an insanely beautiful release, and one that I highly recommend picking up. So if you are interested in grabbing either this 1/35th scale version or the 1/20th scale version, head to the links down in the description, contact Passion Charger, contact me, and I'll contact Passion Charger for you. One way or another, definitely grab this beautiful Ceratopsian model, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.